Hey Moyna, welcome to Just Like That.
Hi, Sahil, and how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing wonderful. It's so nice to have you on the show.
Likewise, and I think we've been planning to connect for a long time, and finally this is happening.
I know your calendar is just so busy, it's so difficult to chase you down.
Looks good, it just looks good to be busy. I mean, whether you're actually busy or not, uh, it's all about perceptions, right? So create a perception of being busy.
I know, but I'm so happy that finally we're having this conversation.
I know.
All right, so how has the day been for you?
Well, the day's been good. And I thought, why don't, since we have been talking quite a bit, you and I, why don't I bring in someone new to meet you? Because I've been talking about all my work that I do with him a lot. And so I thought I have a little surprise here in this conversation. And like your show, this surprise is also just like that. So here is your
Oh
surprise.
my God. All right.
Here is
Oh, hey,
Agastya.
hi.
Hi,
Hi, Agastya. How are you?
I'm fine. So Agastya
Nice to
is
see you.
my 7-year-old, soon to be turning 8, and he often he's very fond of stories, and I think stories is something that we are all very fond of. Even now, when we're so grown up, we love stories in our own ways, right? So I thought, why not have this conversation this conversation around one of his favorite stories.
Lovely. Agastya, which story is this?
Why don't you pick up the book and show first?
This book is named Maybe.
The name of the book is Maybe?
Yeah.
Wow. Very nice. And what's the story about?
So it's about a girl falling down and getting hurt. And after getting healed and all of the other friends saying they are getting a stomach ache, then she says maybe.
Okay, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you read out a couple of pages for Sahil so he knows what you're talking about?
A gentle kind girl lived with her family in a friendly neighborhood and a loving home. One day her bicycle disappeared. Her friend said, "That's terrible luck. You had such a nice bike. What a bummer." The thoughtful girl took a moment and then responded, "Maybe." The girl was getting too big for her old cycle anyway. So her parents bought her a new one. It was a beautiful shade of blue and it looked like a treasure on wheels. "What an awesome bike," exclaimed her friends. "You are so lucky." "Maybe," said the wise girl. A week later, the girl was riding her bicycle and hit a bump in the road. She fell hard to the ground and hurt her arm. There were scratches and bruises, even a little blood. As she rested in bed to heal the injuries, her friends visited her. They said, "Oh, those bruises look awful. That's really bad luck you had with that new bike." She just smiled and replied, "Maybe."
Maybe.
So, do you want to continue or
I can continue.
you want to continue with a couple of more pages?
Yeah.
Okay, he's very fond of the story, and
No, it
sometimes
sounds so
even,
interesting.
yeah, it
Maybe.
is. And the first time I read this book out to him, it's kind of became my favorite too. And sometimes, and you will know as we go along why it became my favorite and why it's just,
Sure.
yeah, go on.
The next day, the kids in the neighborhood went to school as usual. However, the girl stayed home. She reads books all day. Her mother made her favorite meal, vegetable lasagna. The neighborhood kids visited her after school and learned about her special day. They said, "Wow, you got to skip school and had so much fun at home. You are so lucky." The girl looked at her friends and smiled gently. "Maybe," she said. The girl's arm was not yet healed, and she stayed home for another day. This time, one of the kids at school celebrated his birthday. Everyone enjoyed cake and fun chocolate. When the kids in the neighborhood visited the kind girl after school, they said, "You totally missed out today. We had the most delicious cake, and the birthday party was fantastic. You had some bad luck." The wise girl did not feel bad about the missing party. She just gave her usual reply, "Maybe."
Maybe.
Maybe. So, what do you pick up from this story? Do you want to ask Sahil what did he pick up from this story? Yeah.
Sahil, what did you pick up from this story?
Maybe. It's so beautiful, right? It's like how
It-
you when you sing a song and you go back to the chorus,
yeah.
and the chorus takes you back to each of the lyrics, and it just says maybe.
Maybe. But you know what's so beautiful about this book? And it's the thing is that it's illustrated so well for the kids, right? And
Yeah.
it's part of the series called Zen for Little Ones. Little Zen for Little Ones, right? Isn't it so
Zen,
amazing?
right? Z-E-N, Zen.
ZEN, Little Zen for
Wow.
Little Kids, right? And when I read this book with him, I was actually reading it out to him. It just shifted my perspective in life. It really shifted my perspective in life. Here's this little girl who gets her bicycle stolen, and she's very chill about it. And her friends are like, "How unlucky you are!" And she's like, "Maybe." And then when she ends up getting a new bike, the one that she wanted, and then her friends say, "You're so lucky." She's like, "Maybe." What a beautiful way of looking at life, don't you think? It
Absolutely.
actually, yeah, it actually took me back to looking at reevaluating everything that happened in my life so far. All the good things, so-called good things, and the so-called bad things. What if we just kind of leave it with maybe? Don't get into the paralysis of analysis of everything. Oh my God, this happened and that happened, and why did this happen? Has it happened with you, Sahil, sometimes that you've looked back at something and you were like, oh my God, it felt so bad in that moment, but thank God it happened.
You'll be so surprised to know that once upon a time, maybe was my favorite word.
There you
And,
go.
as I kept spending time with myself and a lot of self awareness and looking within, I kept asking myself, do I use this word because I'm either not sure or I don't want to commit, or maybe I'm slightly indifferent? Like,
Yeah.
okay, bicycle went away, so what? Maybe. Or you
Yeah.
know what? Had a lovely party, everyone enjoyed. Did you enjoy? Maybe. Right? So you're not really being committal.
Yes.
But at the same time, is it a very nice space to be in? At times it's brilliant because you don't want to really take the black or the white. You just want to be in the gray because it just feels so nice, right?
Yeah.
And maybe has a very positive spin to it as well.
Yeah.
It's not just negative.
Absolutely. I mean, you're not judging anything. You're not judging anything that is happening in your life. And most of the times, it's this judgment that leads to all the stress and anxiety in our life, if you actually look at it, because something has happened and it is our view of that thing and our perspective on how it happened. I'll just give you an example. So I was doing really well with my one of my previous jobs, and I was probably at the pinnacle of the positions that the leadership positions in that, and then there was restructuring and I was let go, right? I mean, it was it was probably a position which I had waited to get to. I finally got to. It was a coveted organization, coveted package, and everything. But you know what? I was devastated at that point of time. Literally, you know how it can feel
Of course.
when you're let go, how it can
Yeah.
feel. I was
Yeah.
devastated. But now, hadn't that happened, I wouldn't have actually kickstarted this journey of mine of really pursuing what I feel so connected with, and I find purpose and passion in. I was doing something that I built over so many years. And when I look back, there have been so many such instances whether I was applying for a new job and I didn't get the ones that I really wanted, or I got the ones that I really wanted, but then it didn't turn out the way I wanted it, So it just makes you lose judgment, leave judgment of everything, and take life as it comes
Yeah.
without
No,
calling it
very,
good.
very, very well said. Very well said. I'm just thinking, Moyna, but while it helps you leave judgment, is it also a manner to be perceived as indecisiveness?
I
What
don't
do you
think
think of
so.
that?
I
Okay.
really don't think so. It is indecisiveness. So if you go back to the story and the context in which this maybe is, it's more like, her friends are telling her all the time, oh, you're so fortunate. Oh, you're so unfortunate. You're so fortunate. You're so unfortunate. Constantly, evaluating,
Putting
constantly
labels?
labeling a situation, and
Yeah.
therefore then bringing in thoughts and emotions into it on how this situation is bad for me. This maybe is the space I call living in magic. We all
Mm,
love to live with logic, and we're conditioned to live with logic. But maybe
yeah.
is the space where we say, let possibilities come into my life. And that is when things can actually turn out to be much better than our expectation.
Wow, this is such a lovely perspective, right? Because the way you have a mindset, you can just pick up a very simple word like maybe and twist it very positively. Or you can also twist it to say it's indecisiveness, or you can twist it to say it's the world of magic, the world of possibility.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yeah,
brilliant. Like, so if I ask you, why are you on JLT? You'll say just like that. Yeah. But
absolutely.
being on JLT doesn't make you happy? Maybe.
Maybe.
Did you enjoy being on JLT? Maybe.
We're not labeling anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to share one more thing with you, Sahil, if I may here.
Sure.
Extend this maybe to just yourself and your identity. People call you, whether it's your strengths or your weaknesses. Somebody may call you an angry person. Somebody may call you lazy person. You might call yourself a procrastinator. But imagine when somebody is labeling you or you are labeling yourself, you just ask yourself or you just say, maybe I am this, maybe I'm not that, or maybe I'm not this. Imagine you even drop a label. And that's when you actually live a truly meaningful life where you're not carrying the burden of even those identities that either you have given to yourself or people have given to you,
You
sorry.
know, like the way you were speaking right now, and I was just getting lost in trance to say that maybe as a word can do two things very beautifully. One, it can be so mystic, right? Because it's just maybe. So it's so mystic. And the second is in the process of dropping these labels, you just feel so lighter.
Oh, yes,
You just feel so light.
yes, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I say thank you so much for maybe. You've introduced a new word in my life.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you, Moyna, for bringing him in. It was wonderful going back to a story that you told him and he played it back. And now both of y'all played it back at JLT. Wonderful having both of you here.
It was our pleasure. And thank you again. Thanks to you for chasing me the way you did to do this, because not only was this session, quite a refresher course for me in terms of possibilities in life, but I got an opportunity to interact with such an amazing person like you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. Take care. Have fun. Have a lovely
Okay.
weekend, Moyna.
Thank
Bye,
you.
August. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.